Couple of things I just wanted to go into on AI, which I'd love your perspective on. What does it mean for society in terms of, is this going to embed wealth and power in a very small subset and create a big widening of inequality? Is it going to democratize and create the opposite? What is your sense of where this heads?
In terms of access to goods and services, I think AI will be ushering an age of abundance. Assuming that we're in a benign AI scenario, I think the AI will be able to make goods and services very inexpensively. And so in anything that is a product or a service where there's not artificial scarcity created, such as like, I want to live exactly in this neighborhood of houses. It's like, okay, well, there's only 100 houses there. So, that would still have scarcity. Or a unique artwork would have scarcity. But anything that does not have scarcity that we deliberately designed to be scarce will be plentiful for everyone in a benign scenario.
And in the unbenign scenario?
Well, there's a wide range of.
But what's the thing that you're most worried about? When you look at, when you've been talking for years about the need for regulation, what is the scenario that really keeps you up at night?
Well, I don't think the AI is going to try to destroy all humanity, but it might put us under strict controls. And there's no non-zero chance of it going Terminator. It's not 0%, but it's. I think it's a small likelihood of annihilating humanity, but it's not zero. We wanted that probability to be zero, as close to zero as possible. And then, like I said, the of AI assuming control for the safety of all the humans and taking over all the computing systems and weapon systems of Earth, and effectively being like some sort of Uber nanny.
But isn't another scenario?
If you say the AI, let's say you're a Miss World contestant, hypothetically.
It's unlikely. Let's face it. But
and you say, what do you want? And it's I want world peace. And it's like, okay, well, one way to achieve world peace is to take all the weapons away from the humans, so they can no longer use them, and to punish any humans that engage in extraterritorial activity.
But isn't the more likely nasty outcome that rather than AI taking over and being the ultimate nanny that keeps us all doing stuff that is super safe and it wants us to, that actually somebody nefariously harnesses that power to achieve societal control, stroke, military superiority, and that actually some country around the world decides to use it in a different way?
Yes, that's what I mean by AI uses as a weapon.
Right.
And the pen is mightier than the sword. So one of the first places we have to be careful of AI being used is in social media to manipulate public opinion. So the reason that Twitter is going to a primarily subscriber-based system is because it is dramatically harder to create. It's like, call it 10,000 times harder to create an account that has a verified phone number from a credible carrier, that has a credit card, and that pays a small amount of money per month, and have those credit cards and phone numbers be highly distributed, not clustered, is incredibly difficult. So whereas in the past, someone could create a million fake accounts for a penny apiece, and then manipulate, have something appear to be very, very much liked by the public when in fact it is not, or promoted and retweeted when in fact it is not, this popularity is not real, and essentially game the system. So the bias towards a subscription-based verification, I think, is very powerful, and that really you won't be able to trust any social media company that does not do this because it will simply be overrun with bots to such an extreme degree.
So if we take it back to where we started, if you look at the election that's coming up, how big a role will this big shift in AI capability over the last few months, which will obviously continue through the next year, how big an impact is this going to play, do you think, in the messaging and the way that people get told the different pitches of the candidates?
I think that's something we need to be on the lookout for in a big way, is to make sure that we're minimizing the impact of AI manipulation. We're certainly very much taking that seriously at X Twitter, X/Twitter, and I think we're putting in place all of the protections to minimize and certainly detect when we see large-scale manipulation of the system.
Okay, but beyond Twitter, are you worried about this for the election in general?
Yeah. There probably will be attempts to use AI to manipulate the public, and some of it will be successful. And if not this election, for sure the next one.